Hey guys, how's it going? Elliot here again. Today's video I'm going to be doing a bit of an unboxing. As you can see here, it's going to be of the GameChild LCD game. Now for anyone who's seen the Ashen's and the Quest for the GameChild movie, this is actually the GameChild from that. However, I believe this is a European packaging as opposed to the kind of pastel packaging from the UK release. Or this is a little bit more modern, I'm not too sure. So without any further ado, let's have a quick look at it. So as you can see, it's a blatant rip-off of the Game Boy from Nintendo, which is this right here. This was released in 1989. As you can see, it's this kind of a beige colour here with some red burgundy-esque buttons and a black D-pad. Whereas on here, as you can see, it's like a red here, and then beige for the rest of it. So on the side of the box, it just says GameChild LCD game. On the back, it has some of the different variants of the GameChild, the games inside them. So you have Soccer, City Fighter, Space War, Ice Hockey, Ghost Hunter, and Desert War. There's not really much else on the box. It says this product is not suitable for children under 3 years as it contains a glass screen which could cause injury if broken. It requires 1 AA. Got that. On the bottom, it says GameChild LCD game, 6 models available. GameChild LCD game again on the top. Let's have a quick look inside. Whether or not this is the original bubble wrap, I cannot confirm. Anyway, let's just have a quick look at it. So here it is here. Now if we bring the original Game Boy over, at first glance it kind of does look a little bit similar. We have this kind of tapered edge here, and we have that over here. We have this kind of grill style speaker, and we have that on here as well. We have the D-pad, which is kind of a little bit recessed in the Game Boy. And we've got one big button there. These are some really horribly sharp rubber buttons. Rubbing your thumb against it feels pretty painful, whereas this one feels quite smooth. I don't know if you can see that there, but they're pretty sharp edges. The screen is absolutely tiny. In fact, it's about the size of an SD card for like a camera or whatever. It has the kind of blue lines here that it has at the top of the Game Boy. So yeah, I mean, they've definitely done a good job to copy the front of it without being too close. The D-pad is actually very similar, as you can see. On the sides, we have the kind of grip style that's on the original Game Boy. However, there's nothing button-wise on the top, whereas this one has the power button. On the other side, on the original Game Boy, you have your contrast and the power in, the DC in, whereas this one has nothing. And on the bottom, there's a headphone jack, and on this one, it has nothing. The backs look very similar. As you can see, we have the battery compartments here, we have the game, and we have the little bit of writing here. So let's have a look here at the actual GameChild. So we'll just pop the batteries in. The batteries obviously do not go in here, and this is just a storage for, well, I can only imagine smuggling cocaine over. So if we have a look up here, there's a fake Game Boy cartridge, and then the battery goes in here. So don't really know why they have a storage there. I can only imagine it was for like a strap or something to go into these little grooves here or here. Okay, so that seems to be a viewable range here for you to be able to see the absolutely tiny screen. Literally, this thing is smaller than the tip of my thumb. So yeah, as about the size of an SD card, as I said. Anyway, so let's turn it on. Jesus, that was painful. Let's listen to that again. My word. As you can see, there's kind of a background that's already on the screen that isn't there on the original Game Boy. They've kept the dark green theme here, except they've given you the background. Right, so let's have a little look at the actual gameplay. So let's turn it on. And then press start. And what? Hello? I really can't work out what's actually going on here. This is really painful. What? There's like a blimmin' pancake that just comes out of the middle of nowhere and just ends up on in my face. What is that up there? Okay, so that's obviously a very, very painful console, and it's nowhere near as good as the original Game Boy. The last thing we can do here is have a look at the instruction manual. So there's a nice little picture of the beauty on the front. Just says Game Child Instruction Manual. On the back there is, what does that say? It says K733. Maybe that's the nuclear codes. And oh my god, that's a lot of writing. So, I mean, it says Game Child is an interesting handheld LCD game that is very challenging and exciting and can be played by either 1 or 2 players. It can be played at 3 levels. It is a game that throws at you from both sides, that you will be looking... Right, so it's very painful to read. I'm wondering though, is this different for each different from different game? Maybe is there 6 different manuals, or is it just generic? Because there doesn't seem to be anything specific here to the actual game that I have, but I'm not entirely sure. And I don't really care either.